Welcome to Sports News. Super Eagles coach Stephen Keshi and members of the NFF Executive Committee have expressed confidence in the team traveling to Congo for this nation's cup qualifying game in Noire. The squad, led by the president of the Nigeria Football Federation, Amaju Pinnick, will leave Abuja aboard a chartered flight by midnight. Keshi believes the team has worked hard enough and hopes the result will show on Saturday.
We don't know how it's going to turn out on Saturday, but the boys, we've been talking to them how it's going to be like. European mentality and African mentality is two different things. So when they're leaving Europe, switch it off and turn in African mentality. So I think they're doing it now. They know what to expect in Congo. With what I saw yesterday, I'm very encouraged. There's total commitment and concentration, which is the intensity of the training yesterday was high. So if we can keep that level going today, tomorrow, up to Saturday, I think we'll come out good.
In Europe, the English Football Association chairman Greg Dyke says FIFA has questions to answer about the report into the bidding process for the 2018 and 2022 World Cups. A German judge who ruled on behalf of the Ethics Committee said he found no grounds sufficient enough to reopen the bidding process. But former U.S. Attorney Michael Garcia, hired by FIFA to head an investigation into the bids that lasted more than a year, said he would appeal against the committee's conclusion. This prompted the CEO for England's 2018 World Cup bid, Simon Johnson, to conclude that everything in the findings is flawed.
I think it's now pretty ugly for FIFA. I think it's pretty ugly in FIFA if actually the person who did the inquiry says that the judges haven't properly reflected his inquiry. I think that's pretty serious for FIFA. I've always questioned if you read the report this morning, there's one point in it earlier that just points out yet again, look, the technical committee looked at all the bids for both World Cups, and the only one it said that it thought was not dangerous but suspect in terms of safety was the Qatar bid, and they won.
But the process was flawed from the beginning in our view, and it didn't have the confidence that it should have done. There were limited powers given to the investigation. It didn't investigate a large number of the members of the FIFA Executive Committee, didn't even talk to them. Didn't talk to the main person around whom the allegations were being made. So there was no credibility about the process in the first place. And then when Mr. Garcia says that he finds it inaccurate and misleading, what are we supposed to think about that or anything that was in it?
Meanwhile, the FIFA General Secretary Jerome Valcke is not happy with the investigatory chamber of FIFA's Ethics Committee, Michael Garcia, that's the chairman. This is a result of Garcia's plans to appeal against the report into the bidding process for the 2018 and 2022 World Cups. Valcke, who was speaking at a press conference in Johannesburg, South Africa, also answered questions regarding Morocco's decision not to host the Africa Cup of Nations and the impact it will have on the FIFA Club World Cup next month. In tennis, Kei Nishikori has recorded his second group match win at the ATP World Tour Finals in London with a 4-6, 6-4, 6-1 victory over David Ferrer. The 24-year-old came from a set down to beat the gritty Spaniard, who hit back from a breakdown to snatch a high-quality opening set. But Nishikori showed why he has become a trailblazer for Asian tennis, unleashing his ground strokes and silky drop shots to run Ferrer into the ground. The Spaniard had replaced Milos Raonic, who pulled out of the tournament due to injury. And that's it on Sports News. It's back to Amarachi with the rest of the news at 10.
Clinical trials begin in West Africa next month as doctors continue to find a cure for the Ebola virus disease. The medical charity Médecins Sans Frontières, which has been helping lead the fight against EVD, says 3 of its treatment centers will host 3 separate research projects.
Thank you. As the president of Liberia lifts the state of emergency imposed in the country, she warns that the fight against Ebola is not over. She lifted the ban to mark the progress the country has made following a WHO report that the number of infections is reduced considerably. In a radio address, she told the nation the night curfews would be reduced, weekly markets could take place, and preparations are being made for the reopening of schools. Days after it was reported that Islamic State leader Abu al-Baghdadi had been killed or injured, audio recordings surfaced online saying that the ISIS fighter will never cease fighting, even if it's only one soldier remaining. Though the recording cannot be verified, it is believed to be authentic. The 17 minutes recording makes no direct reference to the airstrikes, but mentions some development that has occurred since. And as the fighting continues, 2 prominent humanitarian agencies says Syrian neighbors are sharply reducing the number of refugees they allow into their country. Fewer than 18,000 people have fled Syria in October, compared with more than 150,000 people a month on average in 2013. The NGOs have accused the international community of a total collapse of solidarity. And that's the foreign wrap-up. It's back to you.
Thanks a lot, Victoria Idowu. And the main news again. The Senate Committee on Defense and Army today held a closed-door meeting with the Chief of Army Staff and expressed worry that elections are not likely to hold in the northeast unless the military restores peace to the area. Activities have been paralyzed in some hospitals across the country as the Joint Health Workers Union, Joint Health Sector Union, today commenced an indefinite strike, but the federal government responded, saying the action is uncalled for. International charity Médecins Sans Frontières has announced plans to begin clinical trials of new Ebola treatments in West Africa. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you for watching. I am Amarachi Bubani.